That's love. Damn,
That's
cool.
love. What's up, y'all? Happy Money Monday.
What's up, guys?
Feels like
Flip Stallion.
Pete said Deke for president. I agree.
Yeah. Karen's shouting out the Boxem launch. That's what's up.
Appreciate you, Boxem.
We went
if anyone's
live a couple hours ago. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Boxem's officially live public. You can try it for free on boxem.com. Y'all got to check out that Calvin Harris from about 11 years ago too. That shit goes crazy.
That is true. That is true.
This absolutely goes fire right there. Ooh, here we go. All right, here we go. What happens if I sell 200 of a product, create multiple accounts to avoid cancellations, and then get counterfeit complaint and Amazon asks for invoices for the whole 365-day period? Is OA ticking time bomb? Nope. Because you're gonna have the same information on every order, so it doesn't really matter. Now, if you have to put a substantial amount of effort into changing up your info to avoid cancels, that's when it could get a little bit sketchy. However, kind of up to you based on your own risk tolerance. I personally never had that happen where I haven't had documentation which had adequate info on it, and that's across 5,000 OA transactions or so ish. And
You've
200
done a lot more
plus
than that.
complaints. Yeah. Well, a lot of mine were 1,000 though. Like I've done I think it's like 500 Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, I got you. You're talking about purchases. I was like, are you trying to say you've only sold 5,000 things on Amazon?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Purchase. Yeah. Like checkouts essentially. Yeah.
So
Stallion said he had to go to Panera to print out his labels because there was a power outage. That's dedication right there.
Did Panera had the Rolo in the back or what?
Yeah. I guess you have to go in there with the Rolo and just sit in the corner.
There's certain public places that are such an oasis that they make you feel at home regardless of where you are. Starbucks is one of those places.
Panera is one.
That's true.
Panera is definitely one.
That's what they think of it. Yeah, man. Panera is one of them as well. There's not many though. Those might even be the only ones, honestly.
The library, if that still exists.
Ooh, okay.
So
I'll give you that.
Question.
Yeah,
give me the library.
Good question there. If I got an IP but submitted documents was reinstated on the listing, can I now sell the product or will I get into worse problems? Other sellers are still selling it and sharing the buy box with the brand. So if you got IP'd and you got that IP resolved, then yes, technically you can sell on that listing again. Amazon's not going to block you from doing so. But I mean, why is it that you got that IP in the first place? Are you not buying directly from the brand and the brand IP'd you? And then if that's the case, that's likely to happen again. So why is it that you got IP'd, and just ask yourself, is that likely to happen again?
Yeah. Should I be worried if a variation got split onto its own listing? It depends if it is hurting the volume of the listing or not. Interestingly enough, in many cases, it doesn't, because as the 40th best variation on a 100K ranked listing, it's going to get just as many sales as its own variation on a 700K rank listing, or as a 700K rank listing. It's definitely annoying, Wonderlight, but it typically doesn't nuke the volume.
Yep. How to get your pickup driver a Dr. Pepper come through the hailstorm? Is that that's the customary reward for driving through a hailstorm?
It might be Nebraska.
Give him something.
But every account have random names and weird shipping addresses to avoid cancellations. Aren't they going to deny these invoices? Typically, they don't ask for 365 days. Definitely, sometimes they do. And in that case, you probably would be screwed, Pedro. And if you're at all worried about it, I would not recommend doing that. So if you're at all worried about it, I wouldn't recommend buying from that site anymore.
Yep. Anthony, does Boxem have optimized 2D workflow? That is against Amazon's terms of service. So a lot of sellers got in trouble and got fined for that. So we build the tool that's going to keep your account healthy.
Ooh, where can I get Crayola crayons at the cheapest price? It should be on Google. It's going to be Staples, Target, Walmart, all of those. They're really, really cheap.
Luther said, is $5,000 good if I'm starting wholesale? Yeah, so $5,000 is about the minimum I recommend. Usually 5 to 10K in cash for inventory is what you're going to need to start wholesale effectively. So yeah, if you have 5K, you should be in a good spot.
Are Target invoices allowed to get ungated? Yeah, they're going to take all big retailers, guys. If they're going to accept anyone, they're going to accept, ridiculously big, or the largest sellers of, name brand products in the world. So yeah, Target, Walmart, it's kind of interesting how it makes a lot more sense for Amazon to trust Walmart or Target than random wholesalers, but it's completely backwards in terms of
in terms of what they tell you. Yeah,
but yeah, it literally is completely true.
I've had so much trouble with small wholesalers, and they've seen Kohl's before. They've seen soccer.com.
Yeah, that's why I recommend people. I'm even if you're doing wholesale, if you're going to place a big wholesale order or something you're gated for, you're better off getting ungated with like a Target
crazy.
receipt or like a Dick's Sporting Goods receipt, and then coming back and buying the product at wholesale.
Can I do FBA in Canada? Oh yeah, of course, man. You'll see, like, if you can buy Amazon Prime somewhere, there's a very good chance you can sell Amazon Prime there, and definitely in Canada you can.
Yep. What do you use for tracking inventory? Boxum, Michael. It's cheaper and faster than the other tools you mentioned.
Yep. Yeah, Google Sheets is good too. In regards to like
for like order tracking and stuff. Yeah.
Best way to get a hold of BBB or the buy box. It's pretty much just like for FBA listings, just being patient for inventory to check in and being priced competitively and making sure you're on listings that have adequate velocity, right? And then also if it's FBM, having good handling time, so 0-day handling time ideally, or 1-day handling time, and then being on listings that other people are FBMing on too.
Yep.
So Anthony,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Anthony said he was speaking with his supplier about them shipping directly to Amazon. He told him that he would send them the labels directly, but the sales rep doesn't think they could use his labels. So yeah, I mean, that's really the only way that your supplier is going to be. Well, that's really like how the process works, right? Like you buy from your supplier, and then you literally just email them your shipping labels and your box labels. If they're not willing or not able to apply those for you, then they're not going to be able to ship to Amazon. You're going to have to ship to either a prep center or your own facility. Some suppliers are going to be willing to do that, some won't.
Sure. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. How is the standard package for Boxum different from the FBA dashboard and Amazon? Yeah. Honestly, just like go try to create a shipment on Seller Central and then watch a Boxum store on pretty quickly. You'll be able to see that, it's substantially easier. You can tell it's made by sellers. Right off the bat though, just automatically listing above buy box, actually seeing the other sellers on the listing, 2D barcodes, printing FBA box labels as you do the FNSKs, you don't have to come back to it. And being able to just way easier edit things. Definitely just watch the Boxum full tour I just posted too. That'll give you a good walkthrough on everything and like a Seller Central tour, and you'll pretty quickly see the difference.
Yeah, I posted a tutorial today too, and guys, I mean, it's significantly easier. I personally don't really create FBA shipments anymore. My team does, and I haven't for a long time. But when I went into Seller Central last week to try to create a shipment to teach my team, I literally couldn't figure out how to do it. Went into Boxum, did it in like 5 minutes. It was significantly easier.
That's awesome.
It's like not even close.
I feel like they made it more complicated recently too. Like,
dude,
I remember back in the day, like
I was like, I've been selling for 7 years and I can't figure out how to do this. Like, I can't imagine how it feels for a new seller. Whereas, like I said, Boxum is like it's brain dead easy.
What's up, fellas? Yeah, what up, Dre? Dre, we're gonna have a good coaching call tonight too. Does standard package have TD barcodes? Nope. So only the upgraded package gives the TD barcodes because that is substantially more complicated for us to make possible for you on Boxum, basically. And
somebody's asking.
Oh yeah,
go. You got it.
Yeah. So anyone who wants that, as of a couple hours ago, Boxum's officially live, and you could try it free on our website, boxum.com, boxem.com. It feels so good to say that too. Oh my gosh.
Question from a young guy here. He said, I'm just 17 years old. Am I able to start? So we know people that have started selling on Amazon under 18 years old, right? I think, what are the details? I mean, when it comes down to it, I think you've got to have a parent that opens the account for you or something like that.
Who approve and basically. Yeah. As is kind of the case with anything.
Couple extra hurdles, but if you're a young hustler, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, totally possible for sure.
Yeah. He was also asking if you can sell from Canada, and that goes for any of you guys who are, even if you're, you don't want to be filling up the house, you got a eighth floor apartment or something, you can just go through a prep center and sell in the US market.
My dog Parker did the 4th floor apartment.
I have seen some very full multi flights of stairs apartments. If you're one of those sellers, you cannot fail. You will not fail. Yeah.
I wish I had a picture of my dorm room. How big? It was probably like 12 by like 16. I had 200 pairs and a roommate in it. As well. Corey, that's a very inconsequential problem. Come on. We can't
have to go down there and get it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
it's all good.
Yeah, I'll just remove you
keep
now.
the show rolling.
Right. No.
Remove me in 8 minutes.
G-Body Ben's
sounds
good here soon too. We love you still, Corey.
Other ways to improve your account health, not just focus on the damage. Yeah, Austin. The more you sell, I think it's every 4 sales is 1 account health point is how it works. At least they changed it again, right? So yeah, just the more you sell, the higher your account health goes, and then just watch out for cliffs on the seller graph. Look out for IP brands on the listing, that type of stuff. You'll be good.
how long does it take to get approved? It should take like 2 to 4 days essentially. It could even be quicker. But yeah, it should be a couple days. It takes them a little while to get that going. Just open up an Amex Business Blue Business Plus card. My opening limit was 4K. What did you got on yours? Damn, that's low, man.
That is low for a plum.
I think mine was 8K. Yeah, I think 8K.
Yeah, I don't have a plum. I don't know.
Maybe I'm pretty sure you were talking about that on the roadmap call, unless somebody else also got a 4K plum limit. Yeah, maybe another card might help.
Yeah, I think, or just you can be patient with them and get credit line increases. Unfortunately, that can take a little while.
If you have a good amount of cash in the bank to back that up, you can send it to them. I know if you have the plum, you might not, but if you got 10 or 15 in the bank to back it up with, say, hey, I've got this. Can you boost my limit? And they will. I've done that with the Amex Gold before.
It's Austin coaching, right? Oh, he's playing rugby. Lit.
Ooh.
Oh, he's
destined for greatness, right?
That's fire, bro. Yeah, that's super fire. Right, bro. Yeah, bro's got his. That's what's up. That's what's up. I feel that. Oh yeah, damn, that's completely opposite, man. That's
weird.
Gangster,
Yeah,
Anthony.
Yeah, that's opposite. Amex usually, I was gonna say, Amex usually gives me a much higher limit than Chase. Chase is notoriously stingy.
Yeah.
That's facts. I'm gonna
Amex would be like, oh, you started a business today, you make no money. Here's $100,000.
Here's as much money as you need. It's crazy. Andy had a good question here. How does a higher price and then applying a coupon impact the Amazon fees? Does it apply to the higher price or the final price? So without quoting like specific numbers, I know that when you use a coupon, when somebody redeems a coupon, Amazon charges, it's like 50 cents or $1 per coupon redeemed, something like that. So you've got to pay that fee in addition to whatever discount you offered on the coupon itself, right? So at the end of the day, coupons really work best on products where you're the only seller on the listing so that you can control that price. But generally, if you've got a repricer that's adjusting your price and you're staying competitive and you apply a coupon, I mean, naturally, you're going to see a little more sales doing that. Which I think is your question there.
Yep, 5 days for bank process. That is a while, Pedro. But I mean, just keep the money rolling there. Some banks pay out faster too. You can look into that. You think AI will take this business over in the future? It might take some parts of it, but it's never going to do the hey, I'm Corey. Let's work out a deal here. Like taking a little bit of a loss, taking a break even here to make a good profitable product there. It's not gonna stack a cash back with the gift card, with the coupon, with the sale. Like that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
there has been some form of AI-ish with scanning tools for 5 or 10 years, right? And that clearly doesn't work. So it'll be around.
Yeah, it's gonna take over a lot of jobs a hell of a lot more than it'll take over this. And right?
Creative jobs are unfortunately the ones. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, creative and that type of stuff is a little bit more in trouble. Relationships,
How do we find MOQ brands guide? Ooh, interesting. So it's going to be brand by brand, in terms of what they specifically have. That's oh my gosh, we got Uncle G-Body Benz. Let's go. Yeah, Corey. Come on, Corey. Give my boy some love. Give my boy some love.
Let's go. Welcome in. I'm about to drop out here in a second. So you're.
Yeah, where's the giant Amex? Come on, man. It's been like a couple weeks since you moved in.
In the lab. Ever since I moved here, it's been just straight grind.
Oh, it was straight grind when you were in Miami last week?
He's going to decorate his house while he's in Miami, Miles. Is that the expectation?
Yes.
Garrett, I think your mic's going through a camera or something, by the way.
G-Body Benz.
Also, question here. How much inventory do you recommend wholesale sellers should send into Amazon's warehouse to avoid excess fees? So you want to send in enough to avoid the low inventory fees, but you also want to send in not so much that you're paying storage fees. So it is a happy medium in general. You want to keep 40 to 45 days worth of inventory on hand at Amazon, assuming you have access to that amount of stock. And that's kind of going to be the sweet spot there.
Coupon savings. Especially if this is your first back to school, I would not. A lot of people are going to be showing you all sorts of back to school stuff where you can make a lot of money hypothetically, right? But in your first 12 to 16 months, first 6 months, you don't earn the right to operate on hypotheticals, right? What I would do is monitor. You could start sourcing, start stocking up on a lot of listings, start bookmarking and saving them, copy the links and save the links of a lot of the smart sellers that you've seen operate successfully on back to school the past couple of years, and just monitor the situation. Keep a tracking alerts where maybe a Crayola crayon, if it goes above 10, bang, you look for a place to buy it. And I would really, really focus on FBM, because the benefit of that is you don't need to go really, really deep, send a bunch into FBA and hope the things happen that you want them to happen. You can operate quickly, join 4 or 5 different markets at the same time, and then as things sell, you iterate and you iterate and you iterate, and you have the shallowness that you don't have to go super deep on something that you're not super confident in, right? So I'd monitor. You can start sourcing, of course, monitor a bunch of markets. If things start to operate as you expect and hope, now look for a place to buy at the right price point. And at that point, now you can iterate and keep on moving.
Yeah, too much opportunity to jump on during game time in the middle of the second quarter, the third quarter, right? Like hop on those listings that start to pop off instead of
there's so many other things you could be buying right now that aren't specific to operate to back to school, right? Tons and tons of opportunity now, lower hanging fruit, as we like to call them. And so I would just focus on that, man. And then set those keeper tracking alerts. If the markets start to shake out how we hope, well, you're already ready. And now you're 5 steps ahead of everyone else that has to do that sourcing at that point.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like there's really no such thing as like sourcing for back to school, essentially sourcing for Q4. There's just buying stuff that's good today. You know what I mean? And some of those listings are going to be like technically like back to school types of items, but you'll be way better off just focusing on stuff that's profitable today. And presumably, you know, for most people, it's going to be storefront stock and looking at what other people are carrying, right? If the price is stable or price is going up, we know people are making money on it, right? And if they can do it, so can you. Like just down in the discounts.
You can't overstate that the value that FBMing while leveraging 3 to 4 2 other listings provides. And the cool thing is with a lot of the crayons, right? You could be on the 2-pack, the 3-pack, the 6-pack, the 12-pack, the 14-pack. So you go to your local Walmart, Staples, whatever, you buy 100. That number doesn't really matter. It's an arbitrary number because you're on so many different listings and you're just packaging it as they sell, right? And so that's the really cool thing that, again, FBM provides, because if you're FBA, you have to pick one ASIN, you're married to it, and you have to send it in early to be able to compound and take advantage of the demand as in the right timing.
That's a really good point. I actually never thought about that. Is like buying, you know, a bunch of components and then listing a bunch of different pack sizes, and whichever ones sell first, FBM, you just package it that way. Like that makes a whole lot of sense.
See, what I got some of the stallions doing right now to get their first sales week 1 pretty much guaranteed is just finding Walmart private label brands that are in stock at their local Walmart and just listing them and not even buying them, and then just listing them when they sell. Because pretty much everyone's got a couple Walmarts nearby. Of course, yeah, fire.
So let's help Anthony out here. So he's basically, his supplier might be willing to ship his orders directly to Amazon. He's got to essentially explain it in a way that's going to make it easy for him. So all you got to do is just tell your supplier, say, hey, I'm going to order in case pack quantities. So they're not going to have to break down the case packs. I'm going to order in case pack quantities, and I'm going to send you 2 labels per box. One is going to be a shipping label. One is going to be an Amazon label. All I need you to do is print them out, slap them on each box. I'm even going to write on the label exactly which case it goes with. So you're going to fire up Photoshop or Microsoft Paint or whatever you use, and you're going to literally write on the label itself, say this is, you know, 24 units of SKU, right? 24 units of this product. Make it brain dead easy for them to where all they have to do is print it out, peel it off, slap it on the box, and then leave it on their dock for UPS to come pick up. Once they do that 2 or 3 times, you don't always need to like put the name of the product on there. That's just the first few times to you know, make it easy for them. But once they do it a couple of times, it'll be easy and they'll do it for you a bunch.
And the cool thing is, like at the sort of wholesale scale, a lot of people forget that Amazon labels, and it's going to be cheaper than pretty much any prep center that you can reasonably ask, right? So Amazon will label for 55 cents a unit. That includes receiving. Obviously, that includes labeling, all that good stuff. When a really, really good prep center for wholesale is probably going to be somewhere in that, you know, 60, 65 cent range, 55 if you're lucky. But yeah, don't forget Amazon does offer that labeling service.
It's a fact. Ooh, this is interesting. No, Kim, it's definitely not normal. We've seen that for like when Amazon, like if you want to buy items from Amazon to ungate, which doesn't make sense in many cases too. But no, we haven't seen that, but they might be adding that in on certain things.
I've never seen 40. I've seen 100 on some. I've seen 100 on a couple premium beauty brands and 10 on everything else. It's interesting. What brand was it?
Yeah, I'm curious on that as well, Kim. If I do my own shipping, packaging due to weight and size, could I still be successful? That's what I did for my first, let's see, maybe 5,000 orders or so. So yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, now you're gonna want to do FBA too. Like, don't pigeonhole yourself, but you know, you have the choice to do both. You know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, toss on a podcast and fill bags full of $4 or $5 of profit at a time. Right? That's the dream.
I mean, the other thing is, right, it's like in the beginning, obviously you don't have a lot of experience, and so you have to kind of replace that experience with with hard work, grit, sweat, FBA. George agrees. And so worst comes to worst. Right? Obviously, this isn't necessarily something super scalable, but like, say you buy 20 of a particular unit that you have confidence in, and you only sell 5 in a month. Well, either you can again relocate those 15 units to maybe eBay, Walmart, or just return them, or find another seller. Maybe they have a listing that does well, or they're willing to send to FBA. But again, that FBA model just gives you a lot of risk mitigation. Again, and it's important to know as you're learning in the first couple of months, document everything, right? Start a Google Sheet, right? Have one row item per purchase. Put the screenshot of what you saw at the time. Put a little 3 to 4 sentence blurb in terms of justifying that purchase at the time. What were your thoughts? What did you like? What were you not sure about? What were you, everything that you were thinking at that time. And then the cool thing is, right, you can revisit that 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks and say, okay, this is what I was seeing at that point. These were my thoughts. This is what I see now. And you have 2 data points to compare. That's going to allow you to iterate so much quicker on what you're experiencing. Align that with 4 or 5 other people that are doing the same sort of documentation. And you're going to learn 5 times quicker than any single other person, right? That documentation, the reference points, having the compare and contrast is going to really streamline your growth. Because again, the biggest thing we're indexing in the beginning is just sourcing fluency. And once we can kind of really get comfortable with what we're seeing, how to identify a good product versus a bad, it's game on from there. You just add fuel to the fire.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. If the label looks different, but it's the same wording and product number, can it be sold on Amazon? It kind of depends what about the label is different, right? Because the UPC typically validates that it's the same product. It could be that they just updated the packaging, right? Which in that case is probably fine. You just got to make sure if it's a consumable, all the ingredients in the UPC are the exact same thing though. Definitely look for multi-packs for that too. There might be some good multi-pack, Brad. That's a big issue. A lot of beginners aren't hip to is that you can do a lot of multi-packs for different SKUs, especially for grocery outlet, Ollie's and stuff in store too is fire as well.
Yeah, there's some categories that just naturally lend themselves better to multi-packs, and grocery and beauty are definitely one of those. So if you find a winning product, like a winning ASIN for any particular product, look for a 2-pack, 4-pack, 6-pack, etc. of that same product. A lot of times it's not going to be a UPC match, but there's going to be a listing out there for it. And a lot of times the multi-packs are way more profitable than the single-pack listings.
And going off that point, right, the cool thing you can do, again, the theme of, adding little nuance, creating your competitive advantage, you can use Keyword Product Finder to source specifically multi-pack listings, right? So if you set the item count to 2, or if you turn on variations, or if you search multi-pack or a bundle or the word pack in all the title, but those are 4 ways to isolate multi-pack listings. And then it just says, using one of the categories Corey's mentioned as a starting point. And then all you're doing is mapping back and doing the math to single units, right? It works the other way too. Maybe go to the Costco's or BJ's or Sam's Club. You're buying them in bulk inherently, and maybe you're splitting a 10-pack into 5 2-packs, a 10-pack into 10 1-packs, or what I'm saying? Like those sorts of things are sometimes what it takes to create the profitability, right? Miles does a really good job in terms of like explaining manufacturing margin on an OA scale, but the same sort of things, same sort of methodologies work at the bigger scale with multi-packs and bundles, and even when we're talking wholesale.
It was crazy. It looked like the black and orange stormtroopers last night.
That's
awesome.
so lit.
Yeah,
That's in Ohio.
Yeah. No, this was PA.
That was in Miami, right?
Yeah, and that's Miami. You see Sawyer P sweating right there. So you Sawyer.
Nice.
Yeah. You think Sawyer? We
go.
brought Sawyer up to Ohio.
Is he already down in Miami? Did he move there?
Nah, he didn't move yet. But I'm fighting the demons within my soul to not have a ton of COOs with him tonight.
Storage fees work for OA. Yeah, Pedro, they don't matter because you have to sell 20 units in the last 7 days for you to get to assess them, and it's not super common with OA products.
It's worth it if you're selling 20.
Yeah, if you're selling that many,
worth
then
it,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's great that you're incentivized to get more in stock if it's a good SKU. Appreciate you, Garth. Garth, find some more stuff. Storefront stock.
Garth, yeah, good stuff, man.
That's fire, man. That's fire.
Would you source directly from KPF? Of course. KPF is really, really good if you have a specific nuance that you want to target. Maybe a brand, maybe a category, maybe a type of product, right? Maybe you want to search backpack in the text of all the products on Amazon. Or maybe you want to search, again, those multi-packs or the variations or out-of-stock variations. Or maybe you want to search products where Amazon is on the listing, but the third-party buy box is being owned, right? All those sorts of nuances. I just named 9 off the top of my head. There's tens more that you can dig into, right? Keeper Product Finder isn't necessarily going to be a good beginner's tool, but once you have some experience, once you have some little moats that you want to explore, it's really, really powerful for that, right? Digging into the specifics within a niche, right? Again, brands, categories, all those sorts of things. Sales ranks going up, sales ranks going down, buy box going up, buy box going down, all those sorts of things you can really kind of slice and dice.
Yeah, so I believe it's 90 days on when storage fees kick in, right? 108 or 100,
I think so,
180
yeah, I
days,
think
right?
9.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's honestly, you're pretty much not gonna have anything around there except like stuff you bought that was bad. You want to be selling through inventory within a month primarily.
At what
So you
stage
gotta
should you
kick that.
start hiring a VA to call out?
Never.
That's the last thing you
Yeah.
should do. Last
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
There's so
Garth.
many other things, right?
So Garth just talked about, and sorry to cut you off, Garrett, but I think this is like really important here. So he just said he listed his first item on Amazon today, and he's asking about
Oh yeah.
at what point should you hire a VA to call out to suppliers. So Garth, until you have so many profitable opportunities that you yourself are dropping the ball, you literally are drowning in profitable stuff. That's when I would get a VA on board to help you, not with calling out to suppliers, but with some of the lower level admin stuff, freeing you up so that you can contact more suppliers, right? Being brand new, VA should be the last thing on your mind. You've really got to start consistently sourcing profitable products and then find a VA to handle some of the lower level work, not calling suppliers, not sourcing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
good that you think about that though. Like, it's good to have that, end game in mind. I know, Garth, because you said you're
Yeah, I respect that. I mean,
yeah.
I think the important thing that a lot of people kind of miscalculate, I guess is the word, when you're talking about wholesale, it's scaling your business isn't always finding that next account or the next 2 or 3 accounts. Sometimes it's digging deeper in the relationships you already have. Sometimes it's digging deeper into the categories or the catalogs that you already have, right? Because I don't know about anyone else, but
that's usually the case, right?
Yeah.
Same with OA suppliers, honestly, too, in many cases.
Yeah, like I would rather spend 100,000 with one sales rep than have to deal with 5 different sales reps and spend 20K apart. Right, because you have a lot more competitive advantage with the 100K consolidated. You have a better relationship. You have more trust. Obviously, you don't have to deal with so many different personalities, right? You can dig a lot deeper, and I think get better pricing, right? Because if you're spending 100,000 with one sales rep, he has more motivation to give you discounts, more motivation to help you out. Whereas one of the 5 sales reps, everyone there, thumbs up. Where one of the 5 sales reps, we only spending 20K. Well, they don't know you're spending 20K for other places. They just know what's going on with their business. And so you just naturally don't have as much validation when you're spending, again, same amount, but if it's different, diversified.
Well, and think about it from an online arbitrage or just an arbitrage perspective in general, right? Like, you think if somebody were to master 2 or 3 sites, they know the sales cycle for all of those sites. They know when stuff goes on sale. They know the best brands. They know stuff that's likely to have at a good price. Like, they would go so much farther than the seller that's trying to do OA on, 100 different websites, whoever just happens to be having a sale that day, because those people are going to understand the nuances of those sites. So yeah, it applies to OA. It applies to wholesale. It applies to retail arbitrage. I mean, going deep as opposed to wide more often than not is the best move.
And
the
the
cool thing is ever be able to get ungate. It doesn't matter, right? We can't control it, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't waste. It doesn't. It's not valuable concerning ourselves with it. You got the brands that we got now. Ungate those, source those, and iterate from that, right? It doesn't make sense worrying about something that you have is literally no control over.
Yeah. Manny is asking, would reverse sourcing be where you find winning product? Job is to find the supplier versus manual source. Yeah, exactly, Manny. So you're just like, it's just looking at profitable items that people have already found and then seeing if you can find the source for it versus looking at a big wall of items and seeing if you can be maybe the first person to stock it in for a while, or look at a whole bunch of items that aren't tested on Amazon and don't sell at all, right? So it's just like you'll find more gems manual sourcing, but it'll be more consistent reverse, which is why it's better for beginners.
Yeah, and when you manual source, right, nothing is vetted. When you storefront stock, everything you look up is vetted. Right. And then
maybe poorly. They might be they might not be making money. They might be bad at Amazon, but at least like somebody at some level is like, that seems decent, right?
Very true.
That's not true at all with like randomly looking through catalogs.
Even regardless of the storefront, the data is so much more organized. Look at Danny. What's that Wi-Fi? The data is so much more organized when you're looking at it on Amazon. Right, SailorApp does so much for us in terms of really providing all this information in a consolidated manner. Right, if we're on Nike.com and we're looking at a product, We don't have insight on the sales rank. We don't have insight on the buy box. We don't have insight on the competition, the trending. We don't have insight on any of that. We have to click into Amazon, find the listing. Now we have insight onto that. However, isn't it a lot more beneficial, specifically also for a new seller? If we start on Amazon, now we know price point, we know sales rank, we know velocity, trending, competition, all these sorts of things. We now use SellerAmp to map it back to OA sites. And on top of it, we can now be exposed to 5, 6, 10 different sites, right? Whereas if I'm only focusing on Nike, I'm pigeonholing myself only to Nike products. Where if I'm starting on Nike, if I'm starting on Amazon, looking at that same Nike product, well, that's going to open me up to Foot Locker, to JCPenney, or every single OA site you could think of.
Yep. Any advice on brand registry? I would just get in contact with Amazon Seller Help on Twitter and Amazon Seller Support. Jack says, we'll finish up here after that. Is it still possible to get ungated? Many people reporting that they can't get ungated. Yeah, Jack, go try for Stafford, 32 Degrees, Athletic Works, and one, and all those should work right away. You won't even need to apply for it. But then, yeah, Puma, Under Armour, any of those big brands, you can do as long as other people are selling it.
Yeah,
Josh,
Jesse was,
Nike Air Monarchs, bro. Those are the...
That's true. Yeah, it has to be Monarchs or New Balances now that you own a house.
Low key, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse was saying he's waiting on some units to check in. So make sure you're using 2D barcodes on that, Jesse. You'll get faster check-in times generally, which you can do with Boxem.
Cool. So guys, Warner and I will be on for the Boxem launch party in about an hour and 20 minutes. So we'll see you guys there. And such, we'll be back on live stream. And check out the links in the description. You can try Boxem for free on the boxem.com. Right there, you can get a completely free trial, test it out. It's launched as of 4 hours ago. We're going to add a ton of new features as well. And yeah, Sultan, check the link in the description on that stuff, man. Check out Garrett's YouTube videos he's posting now again, too. See y'all soon. Be great.
Wait, stay on.
An hour and 22 minutes.
See you guys.